this is a video on handstands and why on earth you'd do a handstand. So handstands is a bit of an obsession in the yoga world. There's people that make their whole living just teaching handstands, and I've always been slightly amused by this. I've enjoyed doing handstands for some years just for fun, but it's never been that important to me to do a handstand. I never really understood it. You know, for me it was like kind of a bit of fun, and I just wouldn't want to dedicate a lot of time to it because I'm more interested in getting yoga off the mat and improving my life. That's what this channel is all about, right? For those of us who are interested in that. But I started thinking about it and I thought, no, it's a really good example of how you can actually learn deep things through anything. So handstand is no more or less pointless than any other posture in yoga. They're all ridiculous and unnecessary and things we don't really use in life. You know, I'm not like doing this in my life or whatever, yeah? So, you know, it's actually just something we can learn through. So I actually thought it's a really good example. So I spoke to a couple of my handstand loving friends, Nilion, if you're out there, thank you, Nilion, a few friends of mine that instruct this and do this. And I said, well, what do you gain from it? And I thought back, and I thought when I was first learning to do a handstand, what do I gain from it? And what I realized is it's a real process of confronting fear. That's the main thing for me. It's actually, you know, going upside down and working with that inversion. For me, there's a process of fear. There's also a process, you know, working with that fight-flight response under pressure in a difficult position, and also a process of working with challenge. There's also something very much about achievement. Yeah, like, can I achieve the thing? Because there's a very definite sense of failure when you fall over and you can't do it. Especially if you're doing it with other people around, it might get competitive. So you need to work, when you're working with handstands, with those feelings of competitiveness or with those feelings of pride or shame or look how good I am, I can do a one-handed one or whatever it is. And that's interesting, right? So, I mean, this is true of any skill, really. I mean, it could be learning to balance an orange on your nose, yeah? I mean, that's an entirely pointless thing. But by learning how to balance an orange on your nose, you could actually learn about yourself and your process of learning, your process of awareness, your process of how you get frustrated. You know, there's so much you can learn. So I think handstands are no better or worse than anything else in yoga for that. So I'm going to stop being mean to people that do handstands. I also think they're fun. So I'm going to take off this incredibly expensive mic that Sergey's looking worried about, and we're going to have some play with that. Okay, so I'm a bit out of breath from doing handstands. Definitely not as agile as I used to be. And actually it's interesting doing them on camera because it's like, oh, now I'm less stable than I normally am. So the sense of being socially observed is quite interesting doing them. The other thing I'd say is like, this isn't a technical handstand video. So if you're kind of neurotically obsessed with handstands, you know, please don't put on the comments that my hand position was slightly off or something like that. I had a lot of fun doing it, and it was a good exercise. And more importantly, for the kind of off the mat side, I'm looking at my relationship to failure, to fear, to playfulness and having fun. You know, this is more important to me than the exact position of the hands or whatever. If it is something incredibly dangerous, maybe comment on it. But I had fun, and I'm a little out of breath now. So handstands, even handstands aren't completely pointless. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you can subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. More importantly, however, get the newsletter. So the newsletter you do, is that right? In the box here? Okay. So why you would want the newsletter, so you hear about the best videos, so you actually ask me questions, you can reply to the newsletter, I'll reply. You can hear about events, teacher trainings, other things that are happening, and stay in touch more reliably. So newsletter there.